A topic near and dear to all investors' hearts is the topic of asset allocation. And I have to admit, this is a topic that's really frustrating to me. I still can't quite believe that you could take 1,000 people who represent the full diversity of humanity, ask them the same set of questions, and at the end of that process, they each would get a pie chart that looks remarkably similar to the person next to them. There's clearly something that's not quite complete about our current asset allocation protocols, and I think we can learn a lot from nature in this regard. One creature that I really love to think about for asset allocation is the desert wood rat. To me, asset allocation in nature is really a question of division of labor, if you will, division of resources. And the desert wood rat we've studied for a long time because it's one of the few creatures that can eat a lot of creosote and not be poisoned by it. So this rat lives in the Mojave Desert where there's a lot of creosote-soaked plants. And it's one of the only creatures that can actually get nourishment from these plants. So it's a pretty cool thing to study. And it turns out that very recently we figured out that it's not the rat itself that has this tremendous capacity to process the creosote. It's the microbiome in the rat's guts. So if you give these rats antibiotics, it turns out they're just as susceptible to that toxicity as anything else. So you've got this amazing division of labor, this amazing specialization between the rat and its own microbiome, right? They're symbiotic. One can't really live without the other, and yet they're not quite one united organism. They're two separate systems. When I think about asset allocation, this gets a little tricky. These two things wouldn't fit into two totally separate slices on your pie chart. And yet, to me, this is much more true to life, to investing, than most of those pie charts are. There are lots of connections and correlations between those different pieces of the pie chart. And to recognize that up front and to think about examples like the desert rat, I think are really key. When you're thinking about asset allocation, what are the functions of the different things that you're investing in? Is there one piece of your portfolio that is necessary to make another piece of your portfolio really flourish? And if that's the case, you're not really being an authentic investor by investing in one piece and not the other. The whole system needs to thrive together. This is a really important thing to understand as an investor, and I think the wood rat can teach us a lot about it.